Wind on the Petals. Prologue. People don't always think kindly of clubs and hobby groups. Some assume they're hotbeds of affairs, places where marriages quietly unravel. If they saw me, they'd probably lump me in that category too. After all, I met him in a cycling club. But not every club is like that. It's always a few bad apples that muddy the water for everyone else. I suppose saying so makes me sound like a hypocrite, quick to judge others, blind to my own actions. Maybe it does, but I'd like you to hear my story first. Decide for yourself whether I'm the hypocrite they'd say I am, or whether I found something real. Then again, perhaps love is too grand a word for it. Admitting you've fallen for someone in your late 50s feels more than a little embarrassing. Maybe it's more honest to say I found a companion, someone to share the ordinary days with. The truth is, my husband and I were never really friends. There was an age gap between us, and he always felt more like an authority figure than a partner. I was careful around him. He was deliberate, measured, rarely wrong, which made him somehow impossible to be fully at ease with. And yet here I am now, someone who can laugh easily with another person, trade small jokes that don't amount to much, and be forgiven for my stumbles without a second thought. To me, that feels like nothing short of a miracle. My story begins like this. 1. Time standing still. My husband passed away 5 years ago, in the waning days of autumn. After 2 years of illness, he slipped away quietly. Even in those final moments, he was deliberate. The words he left for our children were chosen one by one, careful to the last. For me, he had only 4 words: "You worked hard, dear." After the funeral, the apartment felt impossibly vast. A space that had always seemed ordinary now felt hollow, too wide, too empty. Our daughter Jaihi was buried in wedding preparations. Our son Junho lived far away in Suwon for work. I was alone. The first year, I moved through the days in a fog. I sorted through my husband's clothes, organized old photographs, packed away the small objects that held our memories. By the second year, I could barely bring myself to step outside. I only left for groceries or doctor's appointments. "Mom, you're going to fall into a depression if you keep this up." It was the day Jaihi came by after locking in her wedding date. She looked at me with worried eyes. "I'm fine. I just prefer the quiet." "That's not preference, that's hiding. Dad being gone doesn't mean your life is over." Her words stung, but they weren't wrong. I hadn't prepared for a life without my husband. After more than 30 years shaped entirely around him, the idea of living only for myself felt like standing at the edge of a cliff with nothing below. "Mom, what about a cycling club?" Jaihi held out her phone. It was a community post recruiting members for a local cycling group. "A cycling club? I haven't ridden a bike in ages." "You used to ride when you were younger. The body remembers. Get outside, meet some people, get some exercise, you'll feel better." "At my age, that sort of thing. It's people just like you, Mom. Look, it says the average age is 55. I signed up to keep her from worrying." Honestly, my heart wasn't in it, but I couldn't say no to the look in her eyes. On the morning of the first meeting, I stood in front of my wardrobe for a long time. What to wear? Too flashy would look strange. Too plain would look strange too. In the end, I pulled on the same tracksuit I always wore. Heading out the door, I caught my reflection in the mirror and barely recognized myself. It felt like the first time in 5 years I'd made any kind of effort. Combed my hair, put on sunscreen, no makeup, but still. The meeting point was the entrance to the Han River cycling path. When I arrived, 5 or 6 people were already gathered. "Hello, you must be our new member? I'm Jongsuk, I run this little group." A woman in her early 50s held out her hand with a warm smile. Her handshake was firm and gentle. "Kim Sujin, thank you for having me." "Oh, are you nervous?" "Don't be. We all started from scratch. Here, put this helmet on, and you'll be riding this one." I buckled the helmet and swung my leg over the seat. 20 years since I'd last touched a bicycle. The moment my feet found the pedals, something strange washed over me. "Ready? Then let's set off slowly." At Jongsuk's signal, 7 bikes began to move. I wobbled immediately. The body remembers that had turned out to be a lie. My legs felt foreign, and the bike swerved and lurched beneath me. "Slow down. Don't grip the handlebars so tight." A man's voice behind me. I turned to look and lost my balance entirely. The bike tilted, and I was sure I was going down, but someone caught it. "Are you all right?" The man who'd grabbed my bike looked to be in his early 60s. Silver hair, sun-darkened skin, and kind eyes. "Oh yes, thank you. First time?" I was the same way. "You'll find your footing soon." He smiled and returned to his own bike. My heart was pounding. From the scare, I told myself. The near fall, that's all. That first ride was a slow, gentle 5 kilometers. By the time I got home, my whole body ached. But something about my mood felt strangely lighter. That night, I fell into a deep, dreamless sleep for the first time in a long while. 2. Learning to ride again. There were 2 regular rides a week, Tuesdays and Saturdays. At first, I went out of obligation. I had to have something to report back to Jaihi. But by the end of the first month, I found myself looking forward to riding days. As I got to know the other members, conversation came more easily. Jongsuk rode with her husband, she said. Sharing a hobby had cut down on their arguments and brought them closer. Missian had divorced the year before and lived alone. She said the club members felt like family. And then there was the man who'd caught my bike. I'm Park Minwoo. I joined last year. On the second ride, we were properly introduced. Minwoo was quiet. When the others swapped jokes and stories, he simply smiled. On the third ride, a 10-kilometer loop along the Hanmai chain snapped somewhere in the middle of the course. I braked and stared at it, confused. The others were already far ahead. I was stranded. The chains come off. Minwoo had doubled back without my noticing. I'm sorry, I've slowed everyone down. Don't worry. Easy fix. He reattached the chain with practiced ease. His hands going black with grease without a moment's hesitation. There. No rush. Cycling isn't a race. Your hands got dirty. That's what wet wipes are for. Now go ahead. I'll follow behind. From that day, I caught myself thinking about Minwoo. On every ride, I'd find my eyes searching for him without meaning to. And naturally, effortlessly, he'd fall into pace beside me. Sujin, what was it like for you when you first started riding? Minwoo asked one afternoon at a cafe after a ride. A few other members were at the table, but the question was aimed at me. Terrifying. I kept thinking I'd fall. And I kept wondering if it was even worth the trouble. And now? Now, I like it. Riding into the wind, it feels better than I expected. Minwoo smiled. It was the brightest smile I'd seen from him. Same here. After my wife passed, I just sat at home with the emptiness. But cycling helped, little by little. You lost her? 3 years ago. Pancreatic cancer. Oh, I lost my husband 5 years ago. And so we began to share our stories. Minwoo was a retired middle school Korean language teacher. He'd been watching his children's expressions after losing his wife. Careful not to become a burden. His daughter had asked him to move in. But he'd said no. He thought an aging father would only crowd a young couple's life. My daughter said the same thing. Wanted me to move in. I turned her down for exactly the same reason. Right? We're grateful, but we have our own lives too. That afternoon in the cafe, we talked for over 2 hours. The others had long gone, and still the conversation didn't run dry. It was strange. I'd lived with my husband for 30 years. But I'd never talked with him so freely as this. 3 hours spent together. The seasons changed. Spring came. Cherry blossoms opened along the Han. What about a night ride next Saturday? Jongsuk suggested. The route was to leave at 7 in the evening, ride to Namsan, and come back. At night? Is that safe? In a group, yes. And the view from Namsan at night, you have to see it. I hesitated. Being out late was unfamiliar territory. The distance felt daunting, but I couldn't think of a reason to say no. On the night of the ride, we climbed to the Namsan Observatory. Seoul unfolded below us. The Han shimmering, the buildings lit like scattered stars. Wow, it's beautiful. The words came out before I could stop them. Isn't it? It felt like a waste to see this alone. Minwoo was beside me. He was looking at the view, but the words felt like they were meant for me. Sujin, how are you finding the club these days? I love it. I used to drag myself here. Now I look forward to riding days. I'm glad, me too. You know what I've realized is the happiest part of my week? This riding, feeling the wind. Something shifted in my chest. I had been thinking the same thing. At some point, I'd started counting the days until rides. Or honestly counting the days until I'd see Minwoo. I got home past 11 that night. 5 years since I'd stayed out so late. In the mirror, my face was flushed. The wind, I told myself. Just the wind. The following week brought a long-distance ride along the North Han River. 50 kilometers. If it gets too much, it's fine to turn back, Jongsuk said beforehand. But I wanted to finish. I couldn't have told you exactly why, I just wanted to try. About an hour in, my legs began to ache. I was breathless and damp with sweat. I wanted to quit. Hard going? There's a rest stop just ahead. Minwoo was at my side. He didn't look tired at all, turning the pedals with an easy calm. I don't think I can make it. You can. I'll stay with you. Those words were enough. I gritted my teeth and kept pedaling. After a while, a small riverside shelter came into view. I parked the bike and sank onto a bench. I was soaked through. Here, I brought these. Minwoo pulled out kimbap and fruit from a cooler bag. Homemade, he said. You cook? Living alone, I had to learn. You can only eat takeout so many days in a row. I bit into a roll. It was delicious. Then again, with an empty stomach. It might have been the best kimbap in the world. Sujin, yes? I like riding beside you. Minwoo said it, looking at the river. My heart lurched. What does that mean? Is he saying it as a friend, or is he? Me too. The words came out before I knew they would. Minwoo turned to look at me. My face went hot. We held each other's gaze for a long moment. All we could hear was the sound of the wind. May I keep riding beside you? From now on? Yes. That day, we completed all 50 kilometers. Every part of me hurt when we finished, but my heart felt unexpectedly light. 4. A wavering heart. The trouble came after that. One day, Minwoo didn't show up for the ride. He'd left a message in the group chat. A cold had kept him home. The ride felt flat without him. The wind was wrong, the sky was overcast, my legs ached, but those were excuses. The truth was simpler: he wasn't there. At home, I picked up my phone and put it back down again. Should I text him or not? Would it seem strange? Would not texting make me seem indifferent? It took me half an hour to finally send 3 words, "Hope you feel better." His reply came quickly. "Thank you. I should be back next week." I read that short message over and over. What am I doing? Is this normal? Mom, you look happier lately. Jaehee stopped by that weekend. Even with the wedding preparations consuming her, she came often. Do I? Yes. Did something good happen? The club must be fun. It is. Everyone there is lovely. That wasn't a lie. They were all good people. But what Jaehee was really asking about, she already sensed it. Mom, did you meet someone there? What? Just you seem so bright lately. Is there a man, maybe? No. I denied it too quickly. Jaehee laughed. Mom, if there is someone, I'm okay with it. You have every right to be happy too. Her words left a hollow ache in my chest. Was I doing something that required my daughter's permission? That night, I sat down in front of my husband's photograph. He looked back at me, composed as always. I'm sorry. I touched the frame gently. But I was so lonely. 30 years together, and I was lonely all that time. You were a good person, but you were never my friend. I was always so careful around you. Afraid to make mistakes, afraid to fall short of what you expected. Tears came. I just want to laugh freely now. To talk with someone without holding anything back. Is that so wrong? There was no answer. In the photograph, my husband simply smiled his quiet smile. 5. The moment that decided everything. The next ride was on a Saturday. Minwoo was back. He looked a little thin, but his smile was the same as ever. Are you feeling better? All better. Thank you for checking in. We rode side by side as always, following the Han, cutting through the wind, in comfortable quiet. Then the sky darkened without warning, and a shower came crashing down. Oh, rain. The others called out in surprise. There was a rest facility nearby. Everyone made a dash for it. Minwoo and I, the last to arrive, ducked under a small shelter at the entrance. The others had already moved inside. In seconds, we were soaked. Water ran down from my hair. Are you all right? Minwoo reached into his bag and produced a handkerchief. Carefully, he lifted it to my forehead and wiped away the water trickling down. In that moment, our eyes met. Time seemed to stop. The sound of rain, the chatter of the others, all of it faded. There was only us. Sujin. His voice was low. I care for you, Sujin. My heart felt ready to break through my chest. As a friend? My voice trembled. As a friend, yes, and as something more, too, if that's possible. His confession was gentle. There was no demand in it, no urgency. Just his heart, offered plainly. The words wouldn't come. I didn't know what to say. I wanted to tell him I felt the same, but fear was there too. I turned away. Looks like everyone's inside. Shall we go? Of course. For just a moment, something passed across his eyes, disappointment. But then he smiled. It's all right. Take your time. I can wait. That smile unsettled me all over again. When we went inside, the others were laughing loudly. What were you two doing out there all this time? Making a romance of it? Jong-suk grinned. Wouldn't that be something? Minwoo played it off easily, and everyone laughed. The rain began to ease. We waited for it to pass in silence. When it stopped, we all headed back outside and started riding again. That night, I couldn't sleep. His words kept circling in my mind. As a friend, and as something more. What did something more mean? A partner? A lover? At this age? I opened my phone and searched. Middle-aged romance. Love in later years. Autumn season relationship. I even typed in the queries before catching myself and laughing. 57 years old, and here I was searching the internet like a teenager. But the heart doesn't lie. When I was with Minwoo, my heart raced. It was almost surprising to feel that flutter at this age. I liked him. Being with him was easy. I smiled more. The world felt less empty. Was this love? Or was it just the comfort of not being alone? The next morning, Junho called. Mom, I'm coming this weekend. Why? Is something wrong? Nothing, I just want to see you. I was glad he was coming. But a heaviness settled in. Junho was different from Jaehee, more conservative. More traditional in his values. If Minwoo's name came up, what would he say? Maybe better not to mention it at all. That weekend, both children came. Sitting side by side, they reminded me of when they were small. The nights when their father was away on business. And the three of us would stay up late with fried chicken, laughing together. Their father hadn't approved of late-night snacks. Not healthy, he'd say. Mom, we need to talk. Jaehee opened it. About what? How's the club been? Wonderful, I enjoy it. Have you met anyone there? My stomach dropped. Junho looked back and forth between us. What are you talking about, Nuna? Look at Mom's face. Anyone can tell something's up. Mom. Junho stared at me. You haven't? There isn't some man, is there? Why not? My voice came out stronger than I expected. Junho looked startled. Why can't I? I'm a person too, Junho. I get lonely. I want someone to talk to, someone to laugh with. Those feelings don't disappear just because your father is gone. He was clearly at a loss. But father. Your father was a good man. A good husband and a wonderful father. But he was never my friend. 30 years together, and I was always walking on eggshells. I don't remember the last time I really laughed around him. Or felt safe enough to make a mistake. Mom. Beside me, Jaehee had tears in her eyes. Jaehee, Junho, I want to be happy. I want to laugh with someone, talk freely, just live like that. Is that so terrible? Junho lowered his head. A long silence followed. If you're happy, then we're happy. It was Jaehee who spoke first. But I understand what Junho is worried about. That someone might take advantage of you. It's not like that. He's someone who lost a partner too. He's in the same place we are. I'd like to meet him. Junho said it quietly. To see what kind of person he is. Whether he's worth trusting with you. I considered it. Could I ask Minwoo to do something like this? We hadn't even found a name for what we were to each other yet. But if I wanted to reach my children, this had to happen. All right, I'll ask him. 6. Between friendship and something else. I called Minwoo for the first time. Until then, we'd only ever texted. Hello? His voice. It's Sujin. Oh, Sujin, everything all right? I have something I'd like to talk to you about. Could we meet? Of course, when and where? We arranged to meet at a cafe nearby. He was there before me. You look troubled. What's going on? My children, they'd like to meet you. He looked surprised for a moment, then nodded. Of course, that makes sense. My daughter has been curious about you too, actually. Really? She noticed I've been brighter lately, kept asking me what had gotten into me. We both laughed. We'd each been found out. Minwoo. Yes. What are we? A direct question. He thought for a moment. I'm not entirely sure myself. Calling us a couple feels like it might be asking too much at our age. But calling us just friends doesn't feel quite right either. Same for me. I care about you, but I can't say whether it's love or friendship. Does it have to be one or the other? His question stopped me cold. Can't we be friends and care for each other? Can't we cherish each other without needing to call it a romance? Is that possible? Why wouldn't it be? We get to decide what this is. We build it ourselves, something that's ours. His words landed somewhere deep. That was true, wasn't it? Why did we need a definition? Whether it was love or friendship. What mattered was whether we were at ease, whether we were happy. Then, friends who care for each other? Yes, I like that. We shook hands. It felt like a new beginning. A week later, we met with my children at a restaurant near the wedding venue. Minwoo arrived in neat, pressed clothes, a little tense, but composed. Hello, I'm Park Minwoo. Hello, I'm Jae-hee, the eldest. Junho, nice to meet you. Over the meal, Minwoo spoke honestly about himself. His years teaching, the loss of his wife. His one daughter, his quiet life now on a retirement pension. What does my mother mean to you? Junho asked carefully. She's a good person. Being with her is easy to talk to. And most of all, I don't feel alone. Is that love? It might be. It might not. It's hard to say. But I can tell you this with certainty. I have no intention of hurting her or using her. I'm in the same position. We understand each other. We're a comfort to each other. That's what we want, just to spend time together like that. Junho nodded. Some of the tension in his face eased. After the meal, Jae-hee pulled me aside and whispered, Mom, he seems kind. Be happy. Something caught in my throat. 7. A new season. And so, our relationship earned the quiet approval of my children. We weren't officially anything, but we had become something particular to each other. Twice a week, we rode our bicycles. Once a week, we sat together over tea at a cafe. Sometimes we went to see a film. One day, Minwoo asked, Soojin, would you like to come to my place? We could have dinner together. Your place? Yes, I'll cook for you, something good. I hesitated, going to a man's home. But I trusted him. His apartment was tidy, a small 2-room place, but carefully kept. Sit down, it won't take long. He moved through the kitchen with ease. Kimchi jjigae bubbling on one burner. A rolled egg omelette sizzling on another, blanched spinach tossed with sesame in a bowl. It's ready, come eat. The table he set was simple. But it was warm. We sat across from each other and ate. This is delicious. Really? I'm glad. After dinner, we did the dishes together. He washed, I dried. It was natural, surprisingly easy. When the kitchen was clean, we settled in the living room. He turned on the television. A drama was playing. We sat side by side and watched. He laughed at something. I laughed too. Small moments, nothing remarkable, and yet. Soojin, yes? This is what friendship feels like, isn't it? Yes. This is exactly what friendship feels like. Minwoo reached for my hand. Slowly, carefully. I didn't pull away. And this is what something more feels like. We both burst out laughing. We sat there for a long time. The drama ended and the news came on. The news ended and a variety show started. I lost track of the hours. Eventually, it was time to go. Get home safely. I will, thank you for tonight. Come again. I'll make something different next time. I'd like that. On the walk home, I felt a warmth I couldn't explain. Something I'd never felt in 57 years. An ease I hadn't known with my husband. A comfort that felt like friendship and something more, all at once. 8. A small storm. But things were not entirely smooth. One day, after a club ride, I overheard a newer member speaking to someone. So the rumors about these clubs are true, look at those two. She was pointing at Minwoo and me. My heart sank. What had we done wrong? We'd only ridden our bikes together. Only spent time together. At home, I called Minwoo. I think I want to leave the club. Why? What happened? I told him what I'd heard. He was quiet for a moment, then said, Soojin, have we done anything wrong? But people are talking. Does it matter what they think? Our own hearts matter. We haven't deceived anyone. We haven't hurt anyone. We're just two people choosing to spend time together. He was right. But still, it stung. At the next ride, Jong-suk came up to me. Soojin, you heard something unkind last time, didn't you? I did. Don't let it bother you. That person misunderstood. She was new. She didn't know the first thing about any of us. We all know what kind of people you and Minwoo are. What's wrong with caring for each other? We're on your side. One by one, other members offered their encouragement. What's wrong with falling for someone at our age? You two look wonderful together. Married couples bring their spouses, that's fine. Apparently, but when someone finds a partner after losing theirs, suddenly it's a scandal? That doesn't make any sense. Tears stung my eyes. I was so grateful. After the ride, Minwoo and I were the last ones left. Are you all right? Yes, I'm all right. There are good people around us. I'm relieved. I worried you'd be hurt. What about you? Me? I've heard this kind of thing before. The assumption that men in these clubs are up to no good. It's been a while, but I recognize it. Doesn't it wear on you? It does, but since I met you, I manage. I'm not carrying it alone. He smiled. I smiled. We're doing all right, aren't we? We are. We're doing just fine. 9. Facing fear together. The seasons changed and summer arrived. We were still riding twice a week. Then one day, a message from Minwoo. Soojin, I think I need to go to the hospital. Why? Are you unwell? My routine checkup flagged something. They want me to come back for more tests. My stomach tightened. The weight of those words further testing. I'll come with you. That's all right, I can manage. No, I'm coming. On the day of the appointment, I was there waiting for him. He looked thinner than usual. Don't worry, it's probably nothing. I said it to comfort him, though I was unsettled too. While he was with the doctors, I sat in the waiting room, watching the clock barely move. My hands wouldn't stay still. About an hour later, he came out. How did it go? Results in a week. The doctor said there's no need to panic. But his face said otherwise. We went to a cafe. He held his coffee cup without drinking it. Minwoo, yes. Are you scared? He nodded slowly. Yes, I watched my wife get sick and die. I keep thinking, what if it's my turn now? I took his hand. It's going to be all right, I'm here. You're not family, you shouldn't have to go through this with me. Then what are we? He looked at me. Friends? Partners? Family? All of the above, maybe. He gave a small, soft laugh. Yes, all of it, I think. Does it matter what we call it? The week crept by. Minwoo didn't come to the rides. Every day, I sent him a message. Nothing much, just small words so he'd know someone was with him. When the results came, there was relief, nothing serious. A minor irregularity that just needed monitoring. Thank goodness. The relief I felt was real. I wouldn't have gotten through that week without you. Same for me. When you hurt, I hurt. We held hands for a long time. 10. Happiness in the everyday. After that, something deepened between us. As if we'd confirmed what we already knew, how much we mattered to each other. Twice a week, we rode. Once a week, we cooked dinner together at his place or mine. I'll cook tonight. I prepared dinner at his apartment. Doenjangjjigae, grilled fish, a few seasoned vegetables. This looks incredible. He stared at the table in genuine delight. It's nothing special. No, this is the best kind of cooking. We sat across from each other and ate. A variety show played on TV. He laughed. I laughed. Dishes after dinner, the same as always. He washed, I dried, then I washed, he dried. A comfortable routine, fully formed. Soojin, I heard something just now. Oh, sorry about that. For what? That's what being comfortable is. We laughed. So this is what it means to be at ease with someone. No need to be anything other than yourself. We moved to the sofa. He turned on the television. Is this show any good? I have no idea. I just had it on. We half watched, half talked. Small talk about nothing in particular, what we'd done that day, what we'd picked up at the neighborhood market. What messages had come from our children. Oh, my daughter's getting married next month. Wonderful. Congratulations. Would you like to come? To the wedding. Me? Would that be all right? Of course. Jaehee would love to have you. His face lit up. Then what should I bring as a gift? Just showing up is enough. By 10 o'clock, it was time to go. Get home safely. I will. Tonight was lovely. Come back, I'll make something new next time. I will. At the door, pulling on my shoes, he said quietly. Soojin. Yes? I'm happy. These days. I nodded. Me too. On the way home, the moon was bright. I looked up at it and thought, is this love or friendship? I still couldn't say. But what I knew was this: I was happy. And that was enough. 11. Becoming the Wind. A year went by. Jaehee was married. Junho had found someone. My children were each building their own lives. And I was building mine. Minwoo and I still rode twice a week. 20 kilometers now felt like nothing. One Saturday afternoon, we were cycling along the Han. The wind was fresh and clean. Minwoo was pedaling beside me. "This feels wonderful," I called out. He laughed. "Same." We kept riding through the wind, in the sunlight, together. After the ride, we sat on a bench. He took water from his bag. "Sujin, do you remember a year ago? What about it? The day it rained. The day I told you how I felt." "Ah, that day. Any regrets?" I shook my head. "Not one, and you?" "None. I think it might be the best decision I've ever made." We laughed. A new member had joined the club, a woman in her mid-50s, who had recently lost her husband. She looked like someone who had swallowed the sky. "It gets easier. I was exactly where you are." I said it to her after a ride, over coffee. "Is this club a good place to be?" she asked hesitantly. I know what people say about groups like this. Some see them as trouble waiting to happen. But not every club is like that. This is where I found my second spring. Your second spring? A reason to laugh. A reason to look forward to tomorrow. Things like that. She looked back and forth between Minwoo and me. "The two of you are you. Friends. And people who care for each other. Is that possible?" "It's possible. We're proof of it." Minwoo smiled and nodded. After that, the new member slowly began to brighten. With time, she shed the cloud of suspicion and settled into the rhythm of the rides. 12. Epilogue. Autumn came. 6 years since my husband had left the world. I went to his grave. Minwoo was with me. "Would you like to go up alone?" "I'll wait here." "No, come with me." He hesitated for a moment. "Not yet, I think. This one is yours, go." I climbed the hill alone. As I walked, I thought, had I moved too fast? Maybe he wasn't ready for this. Not yet. I stood before my husband's grave. "I'm here." I laid flowers. "I'm all right now. I'm happy." The wind stirred. Leaves let go of their branches. "But I owe you an apology. There are more days now when I don't think of you. More than before. I don't know if that's allowed." "I'm sorry. Is it all right?" Tears were running down my face. I hadn't even noticed until then. The grave was quiet. No answer came. I wept all the way back down the hill. I couldn't have stopped it even if I'd tried. Somewhere on the path, I felt Minwoo's thoughtfulness wash over me. His choice not to follow. I was so glad he hadn't. When I reached the bottom and saw him, I smiled. "Did you tell him about me?" he asked. "Yes." "What did you say?" "That you're a good person." "And what did he say to that?" "He said to be careful. That all men are thieves." I burst out laughing. Minwoo laughed loudly with me. "So what shall we do now?" "Ride our bikes, of course, what else?" We did come on bikes, after all. We headed for the Han. Mounted our bicycles and turned the pedals, side by side. "How far shall we go today?" he asked. "As far as we can. Until we run out of road." "All right." 2 bicycles rode out into the sunlight. The wind rose. We became the wind and flew. At 57, I found my spring again. A late spring, but perhaps that's exactly why it was so precious. People will still look at clubs like ours with sidelong glances. But I know the truth. Not every group is what they think it is. Here, there are people who genuinely look out for each other, comfort each other, and laugh together. Minwoo is my friend, and we care for each other. We may be lovers, or we may not be. But does that matter? If we are happy, isn't that enough? As I pedaled and rode, I thought life is like this, like turning pedals. Stop, and you fall. You have to keep moving. Slowly, unsteadily, through it all, you have to keep going forward. And it is better not to go alone. If there is someone beside you, matching your pace. If there is someone to reach for your hand when the road gets hard, that is more than enough. The wind rose. I pushed down on the pedals with everything I had. Beside me, Minwoo did the same. We rode forward, side by side, together.